Well, Sydney Police are still trying to determine the motive behind an indiscriminate shooting spree in the city's inner west overnight, which left one man in a critical condition and dozens more injured. Reporter Ethan Ricks is following the story and he is with me now. Now, Ethan, police have given an update just a short time ago. What more details did they reveal?
Good afternoon, Kath. We may be able to see behind me the Aqua Blue building, which has shattered glass. Police say that is where the gunman had positioned himself around 7:30 last night as bullets rained down on innocent bystanders and people who just happened to be in the area that night. They say up to 50 shots were fired by this man who was armed with a high-caliber rifle, and he stuck his head out of the window and fired several bullets at people who just happened to be here. There was one man we spoke to. He's in a state of shock, so understandably he doesn't want to speak with the media at the moment, but he was heading back to his business, which is just across the road here. He was walking along the footpath and he heard some loud bangs which he thought were fireworks and didn't realise exactly what was going on until he saw the glass of a bus stop shatter in front of him, and then he realised at that moment that he was under attack. He quickly made his way into his business, but he was ducking his head for cover as he jumped into that shop front, saying that there was bullets flying over his head. He's understandably in a state of shock, but thankfully he is okay. But there was around 13 cars that were driving through this street. It's a busy thoroughfare here in Croydon Park in Sydney's inner west, especially around 7:30 at night. There is multiple businesses which are positioned underneath this residence where this man had stationed himself, and there was a lot of people out last night. So around 13 cars happened to be struck by the bullets as they drove past this man's residence. Now, we understand one of those was a taxi driver. Thankfully he's okay, but there was a person in the back seat of a car who happened to be struck in the neck, and now the people who were driving that car, they quickly rushed him to Royal Prince Alfred Hospital, where he underwent emergency surgery last night. He initially had critical injuries, but thankfully after that surgery, those have been downgraded and his injuries are now considered serious, but he's in a stable condition. Now, police say that his injuries are not expected to be life-threatening at this stage, so thankfully some good news out of this horrific and scary situation for people here. Police officers were also under fire in this situation as they arrived at the scene and tried to talk down this gunman. We understand from police earlier today, they said that one of the bullets went straight through the windshield of a police vehicle, and if that police officer had been behind the wheel of that vehicle, he would have likely been struck and likely killed in this situation. We did hear from police just a short time ago, like you said, Kath, at Burwood Police Station. Here's what they had to say.
We believe from the initial examination of the scene, up to 50 bullets may have been fired. The crime scene is still active and we're still documenting all of that situation. The crime scene will be active for probably a number of more hours. We have 2 locations which are still active crime scenes and we're still documenting all of those items.
And that was Acting Superintendent Parry there giving that update just a moment ago. What did he say about what happens next, Ethan, with this investigation?
Well, as we understand now, that 60-year-old who police allege is the gunman who fired indiscriminately at people, up to 50 shots at this stage. He's been arrested. He was initially taken to hospital for a medical assessment. We understand that's now been finalised and he's been cleared from hospital. He's now in the custody of police at Burwood Police Station and is undergoing interviewing by detectives, and that is what needs to take place before they are eventually lay charges against this man. They say there will be several charges that he'll be facing. Some are firearms, but they can't say exactly what they're going to charge him with yet. Now, forensic officers have been going through the residence today. Police say that man lived alone in that location, in the building where he allegedly started firing shots from. They seized one high-caliber rifle and a range of ammunition as well, but they weren't able to say what else they have taken from the scene. At this stage, as we heard earlier, there is no known motivation for what has taken place here. They don't believe it was targeted. They understand at this early stages, while he's still under investigation and is still being talked to by detectives, that he shot randomly at anyone who happened to be in the area. They haven't found any motive at this stage. They don't believe it's linked to terrorism or organised crime. So there's still early stages in this investigation. This man will be charged, we understand, later today, and then he'll eventually face court possibly tomorrow if he doesn't make the cut-off for today. And when he faces court, we'll get an idea of who this person is and what police allege he has done here. But still very much an active crime scene. Many of the businesses here are shut off, and detectives continue to comb through the scene, including sniffer dogs and forensic officers. Kath.
Ethan Ricks joining us from Croydon Park in Sydney's Inner West. Thank you.